David Boyle, and I'm quitting alcohol. Fuck, it's been a long day today. So it was my dad's birthday today, and my wife, my caring, thoughtful, wonderful wife, was like, let's make your dad pierogies. Now, pierogies, I'll have one hard pierogi. So, what the fuck was I saying? Pierogies are a Polish dish. They're a Polish dumpling that my nana used to make, and it was all of our favorite fucking food. Like around the Boyle fucking table, you would stab each other's hands with a fork and even a knife just to get the last fucking pierogi. So my wife was like, instead of going out tonight for dinner, why don't we make pierogies? And I'm like, that sounds like the most thoughtful, wonderful fucking idea I've ever heard. The only problem is it takes like fucking 4 hours to make the cunts, and I cannot be fucked. And then I had a gig come up for tonight, and I'm like, fuck it, I can't go to dinner tonight now. Let's make fucking pierogies. And normally it's like a team effort. My wife will do one thing, I'll do the other thing, because it really is a lot of fucking work. You got to cook the lamb, you got to fucking make mashed potato, you got to fucking like saute the onions, you got to make a dough, you got to let the dough sit, you got to make the dumplings, then you got to boil the dumplings, then you got to put them in fucking breadcrumbs, and then you got to fry them off. It's a process. It took like fucking 4 hours to do. And I would say I did 92% of everything. Maybe 86. All right, I'll say 86. She did boil the potatoes. So I'm like, they're cooking, and I'm like, yeah, this is like a really nice, thoughtful idea, but I didn't really want to spend my whole day making fucking pierogies. My wife was meant to make the dough. I don't fuck around with dough. I don't have anything to do with dough. I don't even think I've ever made dough before in my entire life. But my wife's fucking halfway through making the dough, and then she fucking leaves the dough and has the temerity to just go take a call from work, because she's also working full-time while we're making these pierogies. So she disappears mid-dough. I'm looking over at the dough, and it's just sitting there getting dry. I'm like, I'm not kneading it. That's kneading with a K, thank you very much. I've got an injured thumb. The ligament snapped. I do feel like the ligament's fully snapped now, because fucking, it feels like I'm getting arthritis in my thumb. And then I tried to call a bunch of fucking specialists today, and these cunts, I fucking hate specialists now as well. Anyway, that's a story for another day. We're back on the pierogies. So I'm looking over at this dried out fucking dough. My wife's on some bullshit conference call for work. I'm like, what am I meant to do? The filling's almost done, and the dough looks like it needs to be thrown out, but I'm not touching the fucking dough. Anyway, she comes back in between calls, and she starts kneading the dough, and I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? It's dry now. It's finished. It's done. I'm like, you're going to have to start again. She's like, no, I'll fix it. I'm like, this is not getting fixed. And then she spent like half an hour trying to fix it. I'm like, it's not going to work. It's dry. And then she starts yelling at me. She's like, why are you being so negative about the dough? And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? I want the dough to be working. I'm not being negative. I'm just saying it's fucked. Why am I being so negative about the dough? I wouldn't be if it wasn't fucked. Anyway, I finally convinced her to fuck that batch of dough off. She went down, got some more flour. Then she goes and fucking jumps on another conference call. And I don't know what the fuck she's doing. She's like talking to colleagues at work and shit like that. I'm like, does this mean I'm going to have to do the dough? I don't know how to do dough. So I'm like, all right, well, I guess I'm taking the reins on the dough here. I tell you what, I've feared dough my whole life. I'm going to walk towards this fear. So I'm like, fucking, let's do it. Piled up the flour into like a pyramid. Made a little like bath in the center of it. 2 eggs, 100 grams of butter, a little bit of warm water. And the boy out, injury and all, snapped ligament in my thumb and all, started kneading that soft dough. And at the start, it's just chaos. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. There's shit flying everywhere. The fucking flour's clumping up. It's sticking to the thing. I'm like, this is a nightmare. But I stuck with it, and I kept on kneading, and then it started to come together. That's what happens when you don't quit. It starts coming together. So I fucking knead the absolute shit out of this fucking dough. And I don't mean I fucking did too much kneading, because you don't want to over knead dough. It makes it tough. I don't even know what the fuck I'm talking about at the moment. It's fucking late and I've had fuck all sleep and I spent all day making pierogies. And I just got back from a gig. Anyway, the dough turned out great. The pierogies turned out great. Dad came over. He ate them. I think a little tear ran down his eye. And then I had to fuck off to this gig. And if I don't say so myself, the fucking pierogies were fucking good. They were as close to my nana's as they've ever come. Thank God I used to watch her make the pierogies, because otherwise the recipe would have fucking gone with her. Anyway, I went to this gig tonight and had a great set, hung out with the comedians for like fucking 2 hours afterwards. That's why this is so late. I haven't hung out with the Sydney comedians for a little bit, so it was good hanging out with them. And then on my drive home, I was speaking to my Irish comedian friend, Mark fucking McConnell. And it looks like I'm going to be booking in a show, one night only, in Dublin. It looks like the Boyle will be coming for one night only, Dublin, Ireland, at the Sugar Club on the 25th of August. I just need to confirm it. And it's a little bit of a fucking risk, because I'm paying for the whole fucking venue out of my own pocket. And I don't know how many of you Irish cunts are going to fucking make it out for the Boyle. The return of the Boyle to the motherland. So if I confirm this, which I need to do in the next day, it's going to cost me some serious euro to do this show in fucking Ireland. So I'm going to need all of you Irish fucks to get on board. No fucking around now. Buy tickets for your family, buy tickets for your friends, fucking buy tickets and throw them into the street. I'm going to sleep on my decision, but I'm fucking pretty much there. It is going to cost a fair bit of money though. Money that I do not necessarily have, but who the fuck knows when I'll be fucking in Ireland next, or have the opportunity to go to Ireland next. God knows, there could be fucking world war, there could be another potato famine, who fucking knows. And it's a cool fucking venue too, the Sugar Club in Dublin. Every time I look at it, I'm like, fuck yeah. I think I'm just gonna book it, fuck it. You only fucking live once, who gives a shit? What's a couple of €1,000? But I am going to need you Irish to get on board. I'm going to be pumping the fuck out of this Irish show for the next couple of months. Even more than Edinburgh. And the England shows are still getting organised. I'm still trying to work out a venue for that. I was trying to get into the Soho Theatre, like the small room, but that isn't looking likely. So I think I'm just going to have to do a comedy club or like a small boutique venue or some shit. I don't know. I'm still working on the England shows. Anyway. Ireland, I've asked nothing from you. And there's a lot of fucking Irish blood coursing through these veins. So I'm counting on you to jump on board. Look after one of your own. I'm also going to fucking act like I'm purebred Irish for the next 2 months as well. Anyway, it's fucking late and I need to crash. So I'm out of here. If you're enjoying the podcast, give it a share around and I'll see you the fuck later.